overnight. Lows will be around 69. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Wednesday, 0707. How about that? 77,
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to be in trouble over on Friday, huh?
Why?
Some of that hurricane is coming up.
Oh, well, you know what? I mean, it could be all week. There are chances they're saying thunderstorms all week.
Yeah. I think
Today, tomorrow is supposed to be nasty.
Nasty. I mean, they're saying, I guess for Friday, we're going to get a lot of rain and could be 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
Because of the hurricane. So beautiful.
Elsa, huh?
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go.
Oh, well. Could be in Florida, I guess. We're not.
Yeah.
You could be there by then.
Huh?
You could be there by then, even if you
Could be.
drove.
No, you can't get in. You can't fly in. Well, a lot of the airports are closed.
Yeah, I said even if you drove.
Oh, yeah. If I had left now, I'd be there by Friday.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Well, I had a plumber that used to drive straight through from Waltham.
Well, yeah. You could do that. I probably could do that if I was
I couldn't.
20 years younger.
So we get a big morning this morning. We have the senior center director, Tina Falck, that's coming in. She should be here, any minute or so. We're going to talk senior center costs and that kind of stuff. And
the pot is stirred again.
what
else? Well, the data centers are off to the side now, so the senior center is back up again. Yeah.
Funny because just as things started to quiet down again, I had announced that Tina was coming in because we're not going to say why yet because because there's some new developments along with the senior center and the costs of the senior center. Or I shouldn't say the costs, or where what money's available. And so, I invited Tina in, so we're going to go ahead and chat with her. So I put that up on social media. And Paul, what's the first thing you did, Paul? you're talking about stirring the pot.
That's it.
You want to talk about stirring the pot? Okay.
What's the first thing he did?
He complained about me over across the street.
I did. Because he did. Because
he didn't want to admit it, but
I did.
He had one job.
Usually when I go in, he says, Mike didn't show up. I said, yeah, I went by his house. His car's still there because he's not there when I go by. Usually, I know he's here when I go by his house.
Are you my new daddy?
Yes, I am.
It's new daddy. Okay. Paul's new daddy. All right.
That's right. I'm just trying to keep you got a responsibility. You're the station owner.
Yeah, but there's this thing called automation that sometimes you don't need to be here for. And automation is definitely my friend because
I think it's more than your friend. I think it's a relative.
Well, when you're a monopoly owner,
I know.
Oh yeah.
Then
it's the only station in town.
It is,
and the only station in town.
We were voted #1 internet radio station on Main Street, Jewett City. Did you know that?
I did actually because I posted that.
Did you? Thanks, Jim. I knew you were on my side. So anyway,
it's all the truth.
Yes, you did. You can't lie.
Yeah,
you will not tell a lie. That's one of your favorite presidents that said that. Right?
No, actually, Jefferson.
That was
Jeff. That was Washington.
That was Washington.
Yeah.
That said
Jefferson's probably my favorite president. Yes.
So So then it got up on social media that well, you are wrong about the cost overruns,
right?
And then a person said it's going to be what the number was over $1 million, and I'm like, does it matter?
Not really.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's 17 million.
You're right,
because
it's not what it ended up being.
No, because they were going to get $760,000, right?
Yep,
that's it.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and rather than being happy at what was discussed or what would happen, it was like, no, wham.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
That's just the way politics works to this sound.
So, I mean, Jim, let me ask you, you're a very, astute man when it comes to business and things that are going on around town. If the cost overruns are $3 million.
Yeah.
But then they say, you know what? $760,000 is going to do the trick. Does that $3 million number mean anything?
If that's all the finance board is going to award, it doesn't really mean anything in the practical sense. No.
Right. Okay. There we go. So we all agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got a heck of a problem. How am I gonna if it really was $3 million, but it isn't? I
No,
mean,
we know that.
Good morning. Who's on the line with Mike, Paul, and Jim?
Hey, this is Al Gear, Mr. JC.
Oh, hi, Alan. Hi, Alan. What's up?
Oh, not much. I just was wondering. You said the weather's going to be nasty today. How nasty is it going to be?
I don't know. Al, you sound a little drunk.
No, I've been sipping on water. I think it's water.
No, hey, the weather's could be some thunderstorms around this afternoon, but
Yeah.
I think the big part of the weather problem is going to come by Friday when we get some.
Yeah,
of that.
I heard.
That's what's
her
going to be
name
the
is?
issue.
Elsa?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be
Lisa? How do you pronounce it?
Elsa.
Elsa.
Elsa. But that's not what we were talking about just now. We were talking about the cost overruns of the senior center.
Yeah, I know. I heard that also, and I guess there's some problem with the amount that the finance board project or has given to them. But now I guess there's more overruns besides that 700.
No, not. No, that's not it at all. That's not it. No.
Okay.
No.
If you continue to listen, you'll find out why. What we're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah. Give us like 20 minutes, and you'll probably find out why.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That'd be great.
It'd be funny. We'll...
I just hope that they can get that senior center open. I mean,
damn it! I want to play bingo.
It's a beautiful building, and it's right next to the elderly housing up there, next to McCluggage and all that, and it'd be great.
Yeah.
I now qualify for senior center membership.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Al, we can go play bingo.
Yeah, well, bingo and other things. They can do their quilting classes and all that.
Yeah, I'm up on that.
Well, I kind of figured you were, Michael.
Yeah.
I have been waiting for that quilt for the last 10 Christmases.
Well, you know what? Just maybe this year will be your year, Al.
Well, show up at the quilting classes, and Carolyn will teach you how to do it.
Maybe I should have a class on diamond painting. I do that pretty good.
Hey Al, so tonight we got a big big baseball game at 5:30. It's the junior league, which is the junior league is just above Little League in age.
Oh, it's like a senior.
They're playing that up at the middle school, correct?
Well, the high school field, yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I was wondering why they weren't playing down at the Little League field on Wilson Street, but
because the older kids play at the bigger field.
Oh, okay. So this is like senior league, or
basically they just changed the name to juniors a while ago.
Yeah,
it's like 13 and up. I think 13 to 15.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right, dude. Good. All right, dude. So we're gonna move on, but we'll see you tonight at 5:30.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Jewett City Emeritus Al Gear. Thanks, pal. Bye. All right, Al Gear calling in, talking about the weather and the ball game today.
Correct.
So that's exciting stuff.
Yep.
Exciting stuff. Riveting.
So the Little League
shook me to my core.
Yeah, the All-Stars play Thursday, you said, right?
Yeah, the 11, 12-year-old All-Stars, the Little League All-Stars are Thursday. They start a 3-game series against Coventry. So like I said, it's best out of 3.
Yeah.
Because they won the semifinal game against.
So is this the final game? This the
final?
No.
Oh,
they keep going?
Yeah, so here's what happens. So SFC, who they beat, which is Sprague, Franklin, Canterbury.
Yeah.
They beat them to go to the finals. In one on their side of the bracket. The other side was Coventry.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay. So this is for the District 11 championship.
Gotcha.
All right. So Jewett City's always been a part of District 11. When I was in the Little League, we were District 11. So they have a 3-game series, best 2 out of 3, against Coventry. And that starts tomorrow. And that's right here in Jewett City. We'll be carrying that game as well.
So it'll be at this field.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So after that, let's say Jewett City gets past Coventry and wins the District 11 title.
Yeah.
It doesn't end there. Then they go to sectionals. And then they play the champions from different districts. Then if they come out of that, they go to states.
Ooh.
They come out of states to go to regionals.
Well,
these guys could end up in Williamsport.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Playing like Taiwan East.
They used to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul's playing Taiwan on this morning, apparently. Yeah, you don't like that, do you?
Well, he got to buy on cheap booze.
I think so. I think he did. So we're waiting for Tina Falck to come on in this morning, as we're going to talk to Tina about the senior center, what's going on with the senior center, which I think is kind of one thing I think that is kind of funny is that if you look at social media, say about a month and a half ago, so many people had things to say. Lots of people had things to say, and now nobody has anything to say. Now, and every time that we offer somebody to talk to, that they can talk to and ask questions, they don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that. I don't understand that theory at all, because, if
how about the short attention span?
That's part of it. I think the other part of it could be keyboard warrior, being a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and type. There was one. There was. So what I figured is that I was looking for people, to ask questions, for today. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's not really happening. So I went back to a May 18th post on Griswold Now, where a lot of people had a lot of opinions about this. And I think I will just use those.
Oh, okay. Well, did you see the guy that was complaining there was no fireworks because we spent the money on the senior center?
Good.
I mean, how many times have we had fireworks in this town that you know of? I know recently because of the what they call it, the centennial, whatever we had it raised. It was a couple 100 years old, so they had the fireworks. But how many times have you seen fireworks in this town?
Twice.
Yeah. So he was complaining.
Twice,
he was complaining that we didn't have fireworks because the money was spent on the senior center.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that they knew that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that post got deleted.
Probably did.
Because I made a comment last night. Nope, there it is.
Watch it. May disappear while you're looking at it.
Nope, there it is. I got it. So it's actually a post on Griswold Now that goes back to March 18th. I thought it was May. And what it was is somebody posted the Norwich Bulletin article entitled "New Griswold Senior Center Vastly Over Budget as Town Searches for Funding." If you read the article, it was wrong. You remember the article? It was wrong. It wasn't even right. The numbers were all wrong.
Yeah.
I just want to backtrack a little bit before we say, because I didn't see this comment. Michelle says this group of kids, which are the All-Stars, they made states in the 10-12 All-Stars a couple of years ago, so we're hoping we get another shot this year. So
very nice.
Or 10-11s, yeah.
Certainly
So
would be nice.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That will be awesome. And we're going to follow them. We're going.
We're going.
Jewett City Little League All-Stars. Hi, Tina. Come on in. We're ready for you.
Oh, good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. The lovely and vivacious Tina Falck, everybody.
Thank you.
A round of applause, everyone, from the.
Woo, woo.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
All right, so I'm good.
I
I'm
just
good.
want to turn my phone down.
Sure. Well, it's good to see you.
It's good to see everybody too.
Likewise.
Just
been
saw
a
you
long
last
time.
night. I know. I know it.
At the borough meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went well. I mean,
Yeah.
they went to an executive session for a few minutes to,
Mhm.
to discuss the state police contract because,
Dos años. Signed
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Whether or not Tim's going to be able to sign what for 2 years.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's talk senior center.
Sure.
So I had put up, I put questions up, about, do you have, and this happens every single time, Tina, it's like, do you have any questions for the senior center or people that run the senior center?
Sure.
And it always happens that before, a lot of people have a lot to say, which that's okay. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But then when it comes time to say, hey, okay, you can ask the questions directly of some person, all of a sudden they vanish.
Crickets.
Yeah. So what I have decided to do is go back to a March 18th post on Grizzled Now.
Okay.
And just I want you to speak to if you don't mind, speak to a couple of comments that people made 2 months ago.
Yes.
And then we'll tell them what's going on now.
Sure.
As she smirks.
Oh, was that a smirk?
Well, I thought I saw a smirk from Mike for sure.
So, there was one in specific.
All questions are valid and they all deserve to be answered.
Yeah. All right. So Thomas Duffy
Yes.
wrote, "We just told the powers that be that they can do what they want. This extra cost could have been avoided. The committee did what they wanted to do regardless of how it affects the town. Totally wrong."
Okay.
I answered just yesterday, "I'm going to use this statement during our interview with the senior center director tomorrow, meaning today. I would like a point of reference, though, if you don't mind, and tell me how these extra costs could have been avoided. I would like to present your solution." The townspeople voted to approve the funding. This is a moot subject and one I no longer wish to comment on. Thank you.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. But going back to the March comment, and it goes back to what I have said all along and what I maintain about social media is that people interpret anything the way they want to. One tidbit can be put out there, totally misrepresented, and then suddenly it spreads like wildfire. Everybody drinks the Kool-Aid.
Right.
Now, as an example, I will tell you about a senior who came into the center 2 weeks ago. And she said to me, "I really want to speak to you in your office with the door closed." Now, this is a regular member, very involved member. And she said, "I've got to get this straight," she said, "because I'm really upset about this." I said, "Okay." I don't know. It may have been one of her family members, but it was one of the naysayers who had her convinced that we did not have enough money to even put doors or windows on the building.
Oh, okay.
And I looked at her and I said, "I'm not sure what they're referring to, but there have been doors and windows on that building since before winter so that we could button." I said, "That's done. That's a done thing." So again, inaccurate information.
All they got to do is take a drive by the building. They can check and see if there's doors or windows on it.
And this is why I've had to disconnect myself from all of this negativity, because if I didn't, I would have lost my mind, as would the building committee have. the building committee did not do what they wanted to do. We did what we could do. And we have a very good building committee. They are composed primarily of seniors. And let's all keep in mind that the seniors in this town for many, many, many years have paid their fair share of taxes. They're entitled to something.
But unfortunately, that's not what a lot of the younger generation feels.
I agree.
They don't feel that.
They will when they're 65, 75, and 85.
I agree. But right now, they could give a damn about seniors. Well,
No.
because it's a me. That's the way the population is today. Me. What are you going to give me?
Well, the center has always supported our young, our students. We help our families in town. We have, since I've been here almost 16 years, every year we give graduation awards to both the middle school students and the senior students. When it comes time to vote on the education budget, our seniors are encouraged to support our school system.
Yeah.
They've contributed.
Yeah. No, we don't disagree.
No. And you know, when I brought up, I wasn't bringing up this gentleman's comment to be argumentative. This is just the type of comment that was going through for the last year.
It's been terrible.
You know, and I just wonder, it's misinformation.
Yes.
So with the correct information being out there and the ways to get correct information, why do we still have this problem?
Because of social media, I'm convinced.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all related to politics in the town.
Oh, there's a bit of politics involved in this.
Absolutely.
There's politics
and
involved in any of this stuff. But.
There is, but I will tell you, I'm not a fan of politics. I will put that out there right now. I don't care to get into the weeds of politics. It has absolutely nothing to do with the way I conduct the senior center, or how we do business. There's no place in politics for the senior center. Just absolutely not.
I guarantee you that this topic will be up again in October, in November.
Absolutely.
It'll come right back again. When you get through saying what you're saying, which we know that's going to happen in October and November, here it comes again.
Of course.
Right. It's going to bring it right back up again.
I'm hoping that by that time, much of this will be resolved.
Oh, we will probably be resolved. I agree with you, but it's still going to bring it up.
Well,
so I do want to spread some fire myself.
You want me to give you the torch?
You got to throw gas on it too.
I'm going to put my own. I'm going to carry my own torch for a minute. And this is what I want to offer the people of our community is that if you ever want to know something and you're not sure, email me. And I'm not the one that's going to give you the answer, but I will find the people that are responsible for the subjects you want to talk about.
That's
fair. And ask you to commit. This is not a soapbox for me, Ernie. It really isn't.
No, I understand.
So, like Jim. That's why Jim gives us a point of view. Paul, he doesn't talk. But then you have when you come in, we talk about the senior center, which has been a hot topic throughout the last forever. Really, there's always something.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, the senior center has been going on for 7 years?
Technically, but really it's been more like 10.
Yeah.
But there are other issues in town, and we will be more than happy to bring the people in, or at least invite them in, to talk about these issues and get the people's or the
perspective.
Right, but the people that are in charge of this, of different subjects, they're the ones. I'm not qualified to speak on it.
I know.
But maybe.
But I mean, how many times can you pick a scab? Honestly,
right.
Because that's all this is let's, it heals over. It starts healing, and let's pick the scab again. And I just don't care to go there. I really don't. I've got a job to do. I'm going to see it through. There will be a new senior center. End of story. Yep. And we are continuing to do what we can for funding. This USDA grant is a start.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
And that was one of the reasons, or the biggest reason why I wanted you to come in today and speak.
Yes.
So the town went to referendum. It was just about a 2-to-1 margin. They, in favor of putting the extra $760,000 towards the senior center to finish it.
Right.
And then this happens.
Yes, this has been in the works for quite some time.
What is that, Tina? Please tell us, because this is your work and you deserve to announce it.
Well, it's really the work of several people and, multiple people actually. And Congressman Courtney and Senator Summers were instrumental in helping us get this through. The first selectman, Todd Babbitt, and the building committee chair, Rob Perret, worked tirelessly on this. And this has been going on since winter, okay, that these funds were available. We started the application process. And we sat through many meetings being told that we really were not doing anything, or we had not done anything. At one point, there was a Board of Finance member who said, just write the grants, write all the grants that are out there. And I simply looked at that person and said, have you ever written a grant? Now, this was not, there are larger grants, but I brought this as an example. Just for this particular USDA funding that we received, there's your workload.
Wow.
And with every page that's here, there's a lot of research. There's a lot of documentation. There's a lot of submitting, resubmitting. A grant is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's not an application, then you sit and wait.
No.
I mean, just judging at the size of that looks to me like it's over a 200-page document.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy. I mean, it's incredible the amount of work that goes into these federal and state grants. So was I offended when some of those comments were made? You better believe it. And I'm not going to mince words. But yeah, when I see this type of work going into something and effort and trying to do the right thing and to be told you're not, I take offense to that. So I just had to show you this. And
I didn't realize. I myself, even with grants, I don't know. I've never done a grant. I've never written a grant. So I don't really know.
I did. It was over a year ago, of course, before the pandemic. But I started. It was a state of Connecticut DOT, a 5310 grant for a new 9-passenger van. So in addition to everything else that we were working on, I was working on that 9-passenger van. I was successful in getting that grant. So the town will be getting a new 9-passenger van with a wheelchair accessible lift. So there's been a lot going on. And if people do not really know what's going on or what's happening, or to take the time and sit and say, well, show me specifically, what are you doing? They didn't care. It was, no, you aren't doing it, period, end of story. So,
and
that's where social media comes in.
Our meetings are totally open. Anybody that wants information, all they got to do is come to the meetings. It's posted. It's posted in the town hall. It's posted on the internet. Come down. How many? We
talk about them all the time.
How many people do we get showing up as interested citizens at these meetings?
Last week, 0.
Yeah.
The meeting before, 0.
Yeah.
And it's always on there, public forum. Opportunity is there.
Yep.
Come and ask us those hard questions and get the correct information.
It's any meeting, really.
You are correct.
Nobody goes, but yet they go on most social media and bitch.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
Like public health and safety. The three of us are all in public health and safety.
Yes.
How many people show up for public health and safety?
0.
How many people show up for the capital plan?
0.
Okay.
Do people not know what the capital plan is?
Probably not.
It's possible.
Okay. They think it's probably Washington or Hartford.
Well, what do you think?
You know what? Maybe they do.
Yeah.
That's very possible. I mean,
what do you think about the turnout for the budget, the referendum on the budget, the
It's
town
horrible.
budget?
It's horrible.
Yeah, what did that tell you?
Less than 5%.
It was 3%. 3.9% of the voters showed up to vote for the
That's
budget.
less than 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the apathy
Yeah.
is beyond comprehension.
So continue on with that grant because you didn't tell us what the total numbers were.
Okay, the grant is for 411,000. Okay, now this grant was and we started, as I said, we started putting this grant together quite some time ago. It is for furniture and equipment. So it was a very specific line item grant where you could apply for this. You could include this in your amount of your request. And there were things. And the primary thing was, and it was clear with USDA, was the kitchen and the furnishings.
Mhm.
So the kitchen and the equipment. So that was the biggie on this one. But we could not include the deck. The decking could not be included. So we really had to work within the guidelines of what they said, okay, you can include this. We would submit a list and they would either accept or decline. So we had to start back over again. But it's not just, we need this dollar amount to finish. It wasn't, it's very, very specific.
So did that reduce the total amount of money that was required? In other words, less money the taxpayers had to pay, or is it
There's going to be a reduction. And I will say that we are working in some other areas that we are hopeful and fairly confident that there's going to be
additional money.
But things are starting to open up. People are starting, the federal government, this paperwork is starting to move now. Yeah. It wasn't moving for a very, very long time. You couldn't call Hartford or Congressman Courtney's office and say, gee, what about this? Nobody was working. It was really, really hard.
Yeah.
So.
Well, of course, in Washington, prior to the election in Washington, you had two parties that basically were not going to allow anything to happen because they didn't. Whatever you think about Trump, good, bad, or indifferent, they weren't going to let him get an accolade at all. Right. And I mean, I'm sure that held up a lot of this stuff.
Well, again, it's politics.
Yeah, it's politics.
But I can still, and I was sitting here thinking the other night, and I said, I can still tell you exactly where I was sitting at a Board of Finance meeting when I said to them, we will continue to look for additional funding. I did, we did. Whether I'm blamed for nothing proceeding fast enough, whether we have to take the hit for the project being held up because of COVID, trades not being able to come in, trades that had COVID, prices going up, transportation stopping, pushing the project out, material costs going up. I'll take the hit for it. We'll take the hit for
right,
it.
but these are also circumstantial things that happened that raised the price or the final cost that really had nothing to do with anybody.
No.
So the thing is going back to this other gentleman's statement, this could have been avoided. The answer to that is no.
No.
You can't predict a pandemic, but anyway.
Yeah. But look what's happening now. Try to get something built today.
Mm-hmm.
You got to wait in line to find a contractor.
I know.
You can't get anything done.
I know.
Go try and buy a 2x4. Go try and buy a piece of plywood. Yep. You can't.
Yep.
I mean, if you can, but you want to pay for it. So
after the referendum passed, our construction manager, David Fritz, with PAC, had to go out with all of the remaining vendors to try and lock in some prices because we knew at that point, because the whole process took quite some time. Thankfully, and God bless the man, he was able to lock in, and you heard he was on the call last week.
Yep.
He was able to hold those vendors to, I'd say, 99% of those costs. The only cost that went up was the deck, and we're looking in another direction for that right now. But we were really fortunate. So a lot of work has been going on. And A lot of dedication. And I will say this, we have nothing to hang our head about. Nothing.
I mean, and materials, as somebody alluded to, it's just unbelievable. 8 weeks out to get garage doors. 8 weeks to get garage doors. We ordered windows 6 weeks in advance. Okay, and they were still late.
Yeah.
We had the same thing on a much smaller scale. We ordered a couch in custom made.
Yeah.
It took, it took 4 weeks after it was said to be delivered.
Yeah.
And this is just a couch. To give you,
It's
you out,
everything.
Paul?
I gotta go.
Paul, yeah.
Bye, Paul.
Bye, Paul.
Good to see you.
I'll get some.
Stay cool.
I mean, we ordered a frame 6 weeks in advance.
Then there are, like, we were shopping for wood panels for fencing panels,
Mhm.
8-foot sections. Well, they're around $35, $38. You go there now and they're $60, $70 a piece.
Yeah.
And the thing that gets me about that is that's price gouging, because they had this stuff all along, most of that stuff.
Well, they're trying to make up for
Yeah.
what they lost, I think.
I mean, you take a piece of OSB, a 4x8 sheet by 1/2 inch or 7/16 OSB. That was about $10 before the so-called pandemic. All right, they're $50 a sheet now. $50 a sheet.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So again, it goes into how could this have been avoided? The thing is it couldn't have been.
Well,
do you know how it could have been avoided? How these prices would have?
Do you think I like sitting here talking about it? Do you think I liked sitting through all of those Board of Finance meetings?
No.
Believe
and
me,
you kept cool amazingly through the whole thing. I saw you show a little bit of heat one time, but otherwise, no, you remained pretty cool under fire. I mean, I'm sure you probably drove home in your car going, ah!
No, and you know why? I think the first couple of meetings had me pretty riled up, and after a while, it was kind of like, whatever.
It was repetitive.
It just went on and on and on, and I just finally had to resign myself to the fact that, okay, fine. One way or another, we have to get through this. So just sit there, keep your mouth closed. It didn't matter what I thought. It didn't matter what I felt. I had to keep looking at the big picture. I had to keep looking at what was the end result. What were we trying to achieve? So, yeah, I just...
Many times you got to take a lot of lumps to get to the prize.
Yeah, it's true.
That's a good point.
And there was a lot of lumps.
Yeah. But we're past that. We're moving forward.
So here's one of the questions that I had. So referendum went ahead and approved $760,000 for the end result of the senior center.
Yes.
So this grant, $411,800, correct? That you guys just announced.
Yes.
Now that it's not going to be 760,000 minus 400 because it's for specific stuff. Is that correct?
Specific, and that's something that our finance director and the building committee chair will have to discuss at one of the Board of Finance meetings.
Okay.
I mean, that's going to be between them. Eric, our finance director, is he's sharp. He's sharp. And he just, I can tell you, we got the grant. How it's all going to be hashed out, I don't know. He specifically knows and has suggestions, or so I rely. He's our money guru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for quite some time, I mean, before the current first selectman, he would make a lot of suggestions back when Schoolcheck was first selectman.
Mm-hmm.
And they would go with it because he knows exactly what he's talking about.
He's good.
He's very,
really
very good.
Yeah. Yep. I have a lot of respect for him.
Let's see here. Daryl from the Healthy Computer.
Yes.
Tina is great. Always well prepared to answer questions. That is his comment.
Thank you, Daryl.
Mr. Jewett City, Al Gear. By the way, Mr. Jewett City Emeritus, by the way, because he no longer lives in Jewett City. He is now.
He will always be Jewett City.
He's defected to Lisbon. We certainly had to have a long conversation with Tom Sparkman about this to see what he had to do to lure Al in. But he goes,
gave him free housing.
Yeah, free housing. Yeah, way to go. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that. You took a national treasure. Al goes, I'm a senior. I want to thank Tina and her small staff for all the hard work that they do. People don't know what work goes on behind the scenes.
Appreciate that.
Which is very, very true. And I think the biggest, personally, and this is, you can agree or disagree, we kind of talked about it a little bit, is I think the biggest cancer, if you want to call it anything, of all, is the ability to go on to social media and to try to influence other people's opinions by stating things that you're not really sure of yourself.
Correct.
And that happens way too much time. And I use the word influence.
I'm going to tell you.
So
I think I learned a lot through this pandemic. I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about people through these past 6 or 7 months. I think what was most surprising for me was the boldness of people in certain positions. And I didn't see it. I mean, I was shown screenshots of stuff. People in positions that probably shouldn't have been commenting or influencing, when really it was inaccurate, it was inflammatory. And I just feel that, and that's why I'm not going to do it. I'm a department head within the town of Griswold. I am paid by the taxpayers. I don't think that if there's another department head or somebody else out there doing something, I have no right to go on there and negatively influence anything. First of all, that another employee does, or that another committee does. I just found it astonishing. I really did. And totally inappropriate.
I think that social media can be used for good.
Yes, it can.
For a lot of good things.
Yep.
But I don't like it when, I mean, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's welcome to their opinion.
Absolutely.
It's freedom of speech.
Absolutely.
That's all that.
But you make that your opinion. It doesn't mean that you have to make it everybody else's opinion by putting false information out there.
Yeah. And or trying to influence others, on something that is not fact.
And in particular, I mean, if you're a department head or something like that, and you have an opinion and you're putting it out there, you need to make it perfectly clear that it's your opinion. Okay. You're not speaking for the town. You're speaking as an individual.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is that you guys got a nice grant of $411,800.
And we're continuing to work.
Yeah.
And
then there's the possibility of more.
There's the possibility.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Yep.
But we'll have to leave it at that. I mean, we can't say what are we? I'm not going to dig and say, "Oh yeah, where from?" I mean, it's
why put out.
We know that.
Why put out
exactly.
speculative information that somebody's going to come
and
back
that's
and hang you for?
Exactly.
That's
That's why I stopped.
You said this.
You said. Oh yeah, you said. But I mean, I'm excited. I don't know. We have a 12-week window once construction resumes. And we're thinking that's probably going to be toward the end of August. And we have a 12-week window that we have to operate within. So the important thing right now, and Jim, you had said, this item, flooring might take 6 weeks. Painting might take 8 weeks. The materials, we've got to kind of line everything up so that it's a nice, smooth flow,
right,
to get these projects finished in the time allotted.
Now, at the end of this 12-week period, Tina, are we then in a position to be ready to open the senior center?
It'll
And that's not 12 weeks from today, people. So don't come back in 3 months and say, hey, how come we're not open?
No, it's when construction begins. And as I said, we've got a fantastic construction manager. And as far as I'm concerned, they've gone through all of this with us, all of this, up and down and yes and no. And there were times that, there was one point where and I'll be honest about this. I think I walked into the senior center and it was just like, you know what? I'm ready to throw in the towel because this is absolute lunacy. But I said, no, I made a promise and I'm going to see it through.
Well, you did. And here we go.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So just a couple of things, if I could mention.
Yeah.
Currently, right now at the senior center, we're starting medical transportation back up. It's a very soft opening. So we're also continuing with the dial-a-ride so that if people need medical transports, we will find one way or another to get them there. We've started doing... Can
you explain what dial-a-ride is?
Dial-a-ride is a grant through Eastern Connecticut Transit that there are, I think there are 10 towns involved, Lisbon, Norwich, and a person fills out an application. Okay. They fill it out through myself and we got involved with this grant program. Mm-hmm. This is another grant opportunity. And a person is able to call ECTC. If we can't provide the medical transportation, they call ECTC after I approve the application and they schedule their ride for anything within New London County. And it's 24/7. So that if they have an MRI or something scheduled at night or some type of treatment or blood work, they can go either through ECTC or us. And that's kind of what carried a lot of the residents through the pandemic because we weren't doing transportation. And it's free. It's this year, again, it's free. So great opportunity there. Rental rebates. We're processing many rental rebates for elderly and disabled in town. Any questions on that to anybody who's renting? We're doing all of the elderly housing sites, Indian Ridge, all of those places. Mm-hmm. So that's something, and that goes through September. So people really should start, getting their paperwork.
And anybody's
together.
Available for that, correct? Or just seniors?
Seniors and disabled.
Okay.
It's through the state of Connecticut, through Office of Policy Management.
What do you consider senior?
It's 65.
65, okay.
Yep.
I mean, some places it's 65, some
I
places
know,
62.
Yeah. We're continuing, I think, this month and next month. I think next month we'll be wrapping up the free monthly grab and go meals. And we're really proud of this because when the pandemic started and we closed in March, we wanted to continue somehow having that connection. So every month we have provided a grab and go meal free of charge. All of those months. So we're coming up on 15 months, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think we've got enough to carry us through next month. This month is lobster rolls. Again, free of charge. And we'll be providing well over 100 of those. So we've been...
and what is the date time that I can come there?
It's June 29th.
I'm 55, Jim. I technically could join the Griswold Senior Center.
I'm just waiting until I turn 55, Mike.
There you go, Benjamin Button.
Yeah, so am I. But we're doing some day trips. We're starting to plan some day trips. They went to Captain Scott's last week.
Mm-hmm. Lobster Dock?
Yeah.
I love that place.
I do too. And right now I'm looking at perhaps end of this month doing something out to Point Judith.
Oh, awesome.
And Aunt Carrie's and letting them sit out by the ocean.
Very nice.
Because the town now has full ownership of the senior bus. So we can now do out-of-state trips. So that's nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm just excited I can join now.
You can.
I've been saying that for the last few years.
Well, we can fix that. We can and we're not collecting membership fees.
Yeah.
We have not through the pandemic. We're just not.
Is the pandemic over? Is it over? Are we over and done with this? Or is
everything that I've heard, they said no. They say we're still in a pandemic. I don't know what the definition is or how I don't know. But we're still taking some precautions. We still, if we do the bus trips, we're still asking that the seniors, continue to wear their masks. We are starting back up on cafe meals on the 19th with TVCCA. Again, soft. The crew that typically comes in, the homebound primarily up at elderly housing. So we don't have the space right now. We can't start any real programming, no aerobics or anything like that. We are, Jim, you've been in the senior center. We've got one little corner available to us, and that's about it. Yeah. So. And
you have an amazing staff.
I can't even tell you how good my staff is. They've taken on things that definitely are not within their job description. Tirelessly. Joanne, as we speak, Joanne is out delivering student lunches. She started, both she and Lisa, at the beginning of the pandemic when everything shut down. And she's been our trooper with that. And at one point she was doing 20, 30 meals a day. And that was another thing that we did recently too. We've continued to connect with some of these families in town who needed help, and we've been helping along the way. So last week, together with another local organization, we were able to provide, was 10 families with full 4th of July picnic stuff. We did hot dogs, hamburgers, all of the buns, all of the condiments. We did potato salad. We did watermelon. We did cupcakes for the kids. It was just a big full basket that we were able to do. And we did that for Memorial Day too.
Awesome.
Yes, it is.
See, people don't know these are things that you guys do.
And I will tell you that we don't do it for the accolades. We really don't. It's because it's the right thing to do.
What about the food boxes?
Oh, the food boxes. We're well over 15,000 pounds of food that we have been able to distribute. We're continuing with United Way. I think we're doing a July distribution and an August distribution together with United Way and South. We're going to continue with that.
There are
back when School Check was still the first selectman, I took a look at some salaries of various people in this town, and in particular the senior center. Okay.
Uh-oh.
And if the senior center employees had any inclination to leave Griswold, they would be grabbed up at anywhere from a 25 to a 50% increase in salary. Okay. We are getting one hell of a bargain from the people that are working in that senior center. Just go check what the salaries are here and then check some surrounding
and they're
towns.
public information, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you hate that part of it? I would hate
that.
No,
I don't. And I don't know. I figure at this stage in the game for myself, it is what it is. I'm in too deep and I'm in it.
It's not about salary, is it?
That was the point. That was the point I was trying to make. Maybe I didn't make it very clearly.
I will say, in all honesty, it's not like other opportunities have come up. I could have. I didn't. And I'm not saying, oh my gosh, pat myself on the back. That's not what it's about. My point is, you have to give. And there are two rules that I live by. And I've told my kids this. I tell my grandchildren this especially. I really do not like mean people. I don't. That's my number one thing. The other thing is that you really have to give what you can. You have to.
And I got to be honest, Al Gear is a huge fan because just take a look. He's been blowing up my phone. Literally, my phone is starting to smolder.
Thank you, Al.
Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, I could have too. I could have gone, I could have said, screw this here at SNSN. I'm going to go. I could be making 20, 30 cents more an hour at a convenience store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could be, I mean,
Yeah.
but I stayed here in Griswold.
I'm glad you're here.
You didn't get the joke, did you?
I got the joke. But the other thing too, and I can't just speak for myself because clearly I have two, and I call them coworkers. I don't call them my staff. They are my coworkers. They're still here.
Yeah.
They're still here. And they're doing all of the same things that I've been doing. And it's because it's what we believe in. And it's our community, it's our town, it's our people.
Well, a lot of folks, I don't know if they think that we are owned by the town, but because back when it was Wolverine Radio, a lot of people had that kind of thing. And I remember doing different programs and different sponsorships, and people would be on and go, so where's this money going to? Literally, they would, and I would say, finally, my stomach, because I got sick and tired. It's like, so I don't have to be as PC. I probably should be, but I'm not.
It's not easy to always be PC.
Couple questions.
Yes.
Let's see, Joanne, how about a trip to Atlantic City?
No, I'm not going to send the bus down that far. I don't. Okay. I really couldn't. I know we've had some requests about doing a bus load down to Foxwoods Bingo.
Uh-huh.
It's being talked about, and I think I wouldn't do anything to New Jersey. Not with. If we did something like that, it would be through a tour company, and we're just not with the tour companies yet. Not yet.
Okay. And Kathy asks, are there volunteer opportunities at the senior center?
Absolutely. We certainly can use volunteers when we have the grab and go meals, because we have quite a few meals that have to go out around the town, elderly housing. And the other volunteer opportunity is we really could use some more volunteers for the food box distribution. So people are welcome. Just
Are there going to be more food boxes coming in?
Oh yeah, I've set up a July. I don't have the date in front of me. I'm sorry. Later this month, there's going to be, as I said, Salvation Army United Way. We're going to be, I think, 300-400 more boxes, and then we've set up a second date in August. And what goes beyond that, I don't know.
That's pretty cool. I thought they were done.
No.
All right.
No, and they have stayed in contact with us because within 2 hours, our boxes are gone.
Yeah.
The need is still there.
Yeah. Donna says the Griswold is blessed to have Tina and her awesome staff being there for us.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We do.
That's it.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
I mean, there was an incident
never mind.
There was an incident last night. Okay, during the borough meeting, and all of a sudden, Tina's over to Todd. Give me the keys. I got to go.
Okay, well, that's half the story. So now I got to know what's the rest of the story. Do we not want to talk about this? Because I have no idea what this
I'm
is.
surprised. There was a fire.
Oh, you're talking about
yeah.
Okay.
I saw the I typically get all of the American ambulance calls because I like to it helps me stay in contact. But anyway, the Jewett City Fire Chief had to run out quickly for a call. And I was handed a phone that showed me exactly who was involved with the fire. And it was
you got struck by lightning, right?
Two of our I'm not positive. I think there's that belief, but it happened to be two of our senior center members. And the borough went into executive session and we were all out in the lobby, and I watched fire truck after fire truck after fire truck go by. And too. So I'm thinking, are they okay? Do they have, so I was texting Joanne and Lisa saying, do they have family members nearby? So I took Todd's keys to get my senior center keys, and I ran out with his umbrella and there were lightning bolts, and I could see them, and I'm like, this is probably not a good idea.
She's got the umbrella with the metal point sticking up in the sky. Come here, lightning, get
Great.
me.
But I ran over
Our
to
senior center director, Ben Franklin.
I ran over to the senior center because we have emergency forms on all of our members, just to make sure that there was family that was nearby and local. And then I was able to confirm that family was in fact there with them. Because then again, you have to remember, I'm involved with any relocation. So I kind of, I found out, first of all, that yes, they had gotten out safely, and that B, they had family there to help them. And that's part of it.
just so you know, that's part of our news today that, of course, we haven't gotten to, but it was a house that was struck by lightning. This was confirmed by a fire department, somebody up there, put it that way, with some damage. And I know the address, but I'm not going to go ahead and give that out because that's not important,
Right.
for news purposes. But
the response from surrounding towns was tremendous.
when you said there was an incident at the borough meeting, I'm thinking, would somebody start throwing hands? What's going on here?
We had a food fight.
And was it like the battle of the borough? I mean, it was like, in this corner, Tim Sharkey. In the other corner, Todd Babbitt. Round one. And I thought maybe they're going to go at it or say, the borough, we're important. No, you're not. The town's important. Screw you. Imagine that. We own you. We own you. That'd be.
Everybody's important. Everybody.
I think there was 2 or 3 engines from Lisbon. There was one for Taffville, one from Voluntown,
Plainfield.
Yeah.
And I guess the Yantic department was
Fast team.
Yeah. Explain the fast team. Most people may not know what that.
I don't even know what it means.
I didn't either until we got the explanation last night.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I'm not sure I can either, but basically that's a team that arrives on structure fires apparently, and their only purpose is to go in and rescue trapped firemen.
Right. That when you started saying that I know.
I found that fascinating.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's really important.
It is.
You don't think about things like that. No.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and end the interview
Yes.
because I know you have to get back to work and stuff like that. It happens all the time. We do a thing on Tuesday called Psychic Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll start the show at 9:00. Well, what do you think happens? 9:45. That's when people start talking.
Yeah.
So it kind of happened here too. But we're going to end it.
I appreciate the opportunity to come in, and I'm excited.
There's one more comment that I want to read
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
This comes from Ken Willie. Tina gets a lot of credit. She gets a lot of crap for everything going on budget-wise, and most people have said, screw it and quit. She cares not only for the seniors, but the community. So kudos and thank you for seeing this through. People should at least recognize that.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate the support. We appreciate the support. And one other thing I want to put in there, I think.
And he said, and her co-workers are amazing as well.
They are. They're amazing. I couldn't do it without them. Could not. And the last thing I'll say is I think everybody expected our new senior center budget to come in really high for next year. I think I actually came in less.
Ta-da.
Not sure how you did that. Accolades to you.
No, I really had to look at our programming and what we were going to realistically be doing within the year. I mean, I'm not going to say that down the road it will change, but I really put in a very trim budget. And we do a lot of fundraising. We do a lot of self-supporting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very proud of that. And that's where I'll leave my interview.
Well, we are proud of you. So
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Too.
And I hope
thank you.
And I hope
proud of
social
you
media uses it, to be more constructive than destructive, especially when it comes to this, because honestly, it doesn't do anybody any good.
It doesn't. The town really has been divided on this. It really has. It's created some very hard feelings. And I'm sorry for that. I really am. But I don't think that the building committee or I or my team, we're not going to take responsibility for the division that it caused. But wounds heal. This too shall pass.
Yeah, it's been all about the senior center and guns. Those have been the big issues, Uh-oh. Here comes something else.
That sounds like an ambulance.
Along with. Yeah. ambulance and first responder from Jewett City Fire Department. So we'll see what that's all about. Tina, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it very much.
Well, I appreciate
Much respect
the
to you and your
Well,
Your,
eventually there will be a
folks there.
ribbon cutting, and I always say everybody better bring a box of tissue because it's going to be much needed.
It's going to be, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's about time.
All right. Thanks, Tina.
Okay,
Thank you
Have a
very
good day.
much.
Stay cool.
Yeah.
You too. That was some good information, some solid information from somebody that is qualified to talk about it.
Yes.
And that's I think part of the problem is there are a lot of people that talk or influence or try to influence that it's not appropriate for them to do so because it's like me talking for my neighbor. I can't talk for my neighbor.
It's almost like it seems like social media to some degree is almost like a game we played as kids where you'd whisper in the ear of the first person next to you, and by the time it got to the fourth person, it had no relationship to what the first person whispered.
And social media could be used for really
Constructive purpose.
very constructive purposes, but for some reason we don't. And I think that's a damn shame. There's I don't think that social media should be used in situations like this to advance your own agenda. Now, if you have your own quote unquote business page and you're promoting your business and you're talking about what you do as a business, whether it's for customers, your community, that's one thing. But when you get into social media, and you and Tina kind of touched on this a little bit. If you are an influencing member of town, in a certain position, you shouldn't use social media, I don't think, in a public forum to advance your agenda. Especially if it's doing it by knocking somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly agree with your last statement. I'm not sure I agree with the first part of your statement.
Well, go ahead. Tell me why.
Well, I think that getting information out there, correct information out there, social media serves a valid purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, because many people either aren't tech savvy. I'm talking about our seniors. Okay, to some of us. And they don't get to the town hall to look for the postings. I don't know if anybody even bothers to get the Norwich Bulletin anymore. I mean, I know we certainly don't.
I do not.
So I think it can serve a valid purpose, but too much of it is not serving a valid purpose. It's stirring up trouble.
Right. And I think you just said it. It stirs up trouble where it shouldn't. Use it for constructive purposes.
Yep.
How are we going to advance society if we keep pulling everybody back?
I know my dad said something to me when I was pretty young. He says, you came into this world with nothing but your integrity. See if you can leave with it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying. I'm not perfect, but I'm
Your
trying.
word is your bond.
Yeah.
I learned that at a very young age. You know, sometimes you got to eat some crow, I screwed up. That was me. That's on me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That happens. And I don't think there's enough people out there that say, I screwed up. I'm sorry. But sometimes, your word is your bond. I learned that. Oh God, I was just starting in radio, and this really resonated with me. A guy named Mike Girardi. And Mike, who I believe is still with us. I think he's in Florida now. He was the general manager of WINY in Putnam. And then he subsequently purchased the station, and I worked for Mike for, over a couple of tenures, for a while. And he looked at me one time, and I was young. I was, 19, 20. And he called me out on something. Now, he wasn't a mean guy. He wasn't a mean guy at all, but he was smart. And he had said to me, he goes, you did this, didn't you? And I went, and he goes, I know. He goes, talk about it. I don't want to. He goes, just admit to it, and we'll move on. I did. I screwed up. wasn't anything huge, but it was enough to become an issue. And he looked at me and goes, Mike, your word is your bond. Don't ever forget that. And I never have.
Yeah.
I never have. So that's it. So
I mean, if I'm speculating,
memory lane there.
If I'm speculating on something, I always preface it. I try to always preface it with the fact that I'm not positive about this. I think this is what the
you do say
situation
that.
is.
I hear you say that a lot. Pam Padalano says, Jim, you are the bum.
You haven't seen me explode.
Oh, God. Jim, thanks for coming out today.
It's always a pleasure, Mike. I enjoy coming down here and having these little interviews and other stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I'm glad Tina came down and spent some time with us today.
Yeah. I thought Paul was going to be back, but I guess he's not. Yeah.
I don't think so. He's probably somebody complaining that I'm probably still in bed. He doesn't get out of bed, that son of a...
Hey.
Whatever, Paul. You had one job.
Whatever suits you.
All right, tomorrow is the hell is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday.
It's gonna be Thursday.
So we still have a lot going on here at SNSN today. We have the Junior League Baseball Championships, and that'll be at Griswold High School at the high school field. We will be carrying that tonight. The game starts at 5:30. Myself, Mr. Jewett City Algier, and Van on the Van Cam. So that will be today. It's going to be a very interesting type of setup too. So we hope you'll tune in to see what that's all about. And then tomorrow, we have just too much going on. We have a show here, and then we also have the 10, 11-year-old All-Stars. I'm sorry, the 11, 12s. I'm sorry, for Jewett City, which are starting their finals for the District 11. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Very easy to get immersed if you want to get immersed into your community and what is happening. And this is what we try to present, your community and what's happening, and that you can take part in any of it if you so choose to do so. We do, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. The kids are fun to watch, I'll tell you. They really are.
And I mean, it certainly sounds, for a small community, population-wise, our sports teams are doing exceedingly well.
Yeah, they always do. And it's a lot of fun. All right, so we will see you from the Baseball Diamond today at 5:30. Myself, Al, and Van for the Junior League All-Star Championships. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
We will see you soon. All right, have a great day. It's SNSN.
The flagship for Griswold High School sports, and your home for local news and weather.
Broadcasting from Main Street in the borough of Jewett City.
The Streaming News and Sports Network, SNSN.
The 9 a.m. report on the Streaming News and Sports Network is being brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City.